Okay, let's start with working with classes. In normal sense of data analytics, we generally don't use classes. We use normal scripts to do the analytics part. But classes are there, which help us to arrange a task or arrange your functions under one heading, and which help you to reuse the your task or functionality into the other requirements. So reusability is one of the main requirement, or it's a main benefit of using classes. We use inheritance, other things are there. We'll see how we use the existing code into the other requirement classes. So classes are there. It's having the features of connecting or combining multiple functionalities inside a single heading. Let's take an example. So classes are normally used for implementing the concept of OOPS. OOPS is stand for object-oriented programming. We generally use classes in two major contexts. One is making the use of objects, and primarily I'll be showing the demo of inheritance of classes, where we use the functionality of one class into the other class, which help me to reduce the coding of a second class. Let's take an example. So for class we need to write class name anything. Let's say I'll done this book. So under this heading we are indentations need to follow. So let's take a given one function with the name of title, or you can say book title. I'll say programming with Python. That's a normal case which we are using currently. So for using the function of book title, we can do like this: book title. So, but this is not a sort of object-oriented approach. Indirectly, you can say you are calling a function with the class name. If you are saying I need to create an object or initialize the class, and based on the object, I should be able to call this function. For that purpose, we are saying a book title CLS. Let me write a CLS name. You can name anything. Say programming with Python object. Let's see. Here I'm doing one small change. I'm writing self. So I'll be having two functions with me: this book title CLS and book title. So if you try to access your book title CLS with class name, it prompts you stating that you cannot call the function book title CLS with the class name directly. You need to do like this. You to create one instance, like I'll say you can name anything. I say obj book, initialize it. I'll say obj dot book title CLS. So one major difference is we need to use self with the function, where you want the function should be accessible with class object, or you can say initialization. After doing installation only, you'll be able to get access. So that's known things. Thereafter we say let's have it one more case. I'll say CLS. I'll say book. Then we are having one option of default function. You can say constructor sort of thing. So the function which execute automatically whenever you create an instance of a class. So for that purpose only we are having diff init. I'll say book object initialized. So whenever you create an object of this class, This method would get initialized automatically. We have to make sure we use shelf here. Because shelf is stating that you will be calling this function on initialization only. So whenever you create an object of book, this function will get initiated. So we normally use multiple classes in Python where we are passing values, and based on values we will take up the advantage of the value passed for doing the subsequent process. Take an example. I'm creating a class, again book. I'm creating a constructor sort of thing. I'll say shelf, I'll say book name, and I'll say rate. I'll say I'm creating one local function, local variable. I'll say, let's say b name. I'm providing transferring the value which will be transferred by user. Self b rate as a rate. So after once the user initializes this, I want a function for displaying this information. This should be again with the self object. Self, you can say keyword. As a print, I say book name. I'm using format option. I'll say format. The first value of first placeholder would be from self b name. Second value would be from b rate. That's it, normal case. So I'll create an object of book. I'll say book, and this time I have to specify two values. If you don't specify, it'll give you an error stating that the two positional arguments are required. Then I say okay, let's write book name like Python study guide. And say rate is 1200. So once you do this, it will get called. After this, it initialize the values, and I'm for showing the values, I'm saying display. So based on your value, you'll get a call. Display. Oh, I done a mistake in the spelling. Just let me correct this. So book name is Python study guide and rate is 1200 bugs. So whenever you create an instance of an class, the init will get called, and the definition of init decide by what is the option available for calling this class objects. If you had given any parameter, then it is mandatory for you to specify the values for that particular parameter. Otherwise, you have to follow this default variable concept and all. If you want a value, user can skip the values. Then your standard approach of making default variables in functions, you can refer the functions video for that. So we'll go good to go. So we had created functions for making it more readable. So thereafter, we are saying we currently having one class book. Thereafter, we are making the installation. Then we are calling function. So suppose for inheritance, let me show you a few things. Let me create MS Paint. So in my case, I am saying I am having one class. Let's say with book. Then I want to extend this functionality of this book to, let's say, to say IT books, IT learning, or you can say, let me write learning book, and I'm creating one more class like management books. So what I'm doing, I'm inheriting the features of this class here and here also. So let's implement this structure, then we'll go ahead. So let me rewrite this. It helped me to make a complete code in single cell book. I'll say while we create an instance of book, I'll be able to initialize something. Let's like so I'm not creating instance. Let it be. I'm not getting any function here, so I'm creating one function, say basic book writing feature, basic let's say basic book feature. Say I say hard printed books. That's a basic feature which I am saying this book is having. So I'm creating one more class learning, and I'm calling a book as a parent. So learning class would be carrying the features of book inside them. Okay. Beside of basic book feature, I'm adding a new thing, learning based book. So we have not included a shelf here. We'll be adding that later on. So let me write it parallelly so that it should not give me error and so on. So learning for learning book also I'm saying let it be self here, printing books pertaining to say IT learning. That's it. I'm creating one more class, say management. That this class also inherit the book. Here I'm saying a management based book. Self again I am looking for the user should call this function with the class instance. And then I print management books on leadership, etc. So thereafter, let's see. We had created the structure which we had seen in this. So let's utilize this. Let's see whether this feature is available, which we are talking about. Say I'm creating an instance of learning, LOBJ. Okay. On LOBJ, I do have option of calling basic book feature. Along with this, I do have option of calling learning based book. See, this learning based book is available inside the learning class only, but this object is accessing the other function also, which is not currently the part of your learning. It means we are reusing the features of book class inside my learning. Similarly, same thing we did in this management case. Let me take another object of management class to make sure that we will get the same spelling. Basic book feature, that's from class, and function of this class, management based book. See, so that's a inheritance. We are saying we are using the inheritance features of one class to another class. Oh, let's go for the one more case here. Say, suppose I'm creating one more class, say popular books, which I say are inheriting from both the. So this is one to one, this one to many. One child class carrying multiple parent class. Here we are carrying one parent. One child is having one parent. That's a, we call it a single inheritance in this segment. Single inheritance, and we call it multi inheritance, where we are having features of multiple classes for getting information accessible. So let me take some other color. This is up to this, and for multi-inheritance, this is from here. This is multiple inheritance. So let's see. So logically, what will happen? So our popular book will be having feature of learning and management along with the book, because if you see the hierarchy wise, book is coming learning from this hierarchy, and subsequently this concept is available. Let's see. So I'm creating one more class. Class say popular book. I'm having two classes, learning, comma, management. You make sure you have the information spelling correctly. So I create one more function here, say highest selling books. Popular book list learning. Okay, you missed a mistake. See. So if I create an instance of this class, say p obj, so I'll be able to access basic. This is what. Let me copy this. Then we are having management book. So let me write management book. Then I'll go for learning book. Learning based book or learning book? Learning based book. Okay, good. See that now we are having a hierarchical access of my data. With popular books, we are able to access their parent classes, parent objects. Dot. Say then I'll take a current instance. Oh, okay. So we have not taken this self there. Done. So we have taken the requirement as per the image. So we are taking this functions from here to here. Then subsequently, yeah. This popular book is having all the features of their parents. That is from book, learning, and management. So popular book class would be carrying complete functionality of their parents. Depending on their requirement, they will take a access. So depending on requirement, we can take a call if you are looking for to allow features to your child class or not. Let's take a small case of access specifier. Let's take a small example, then we'll take up the case later on. So if I do like this class, I'll say book. I'm creating one instance, let's say def initialization function, you can say self, I'll say name, and let's say rate. I'm repeating the above case. Self, I'm doing some change here, you need to bear with us. Self b rate, then I'm saying df display with an instance, then I say print name 0th placeholder, rate second placeholder, then I'll use format and I'll specify self bdn. I'm actually putting very small one, b rate. Let's see. So create an object of book obj dot display. Again, same mistake. Name and it as book we had mentioned that a book variable, a object should be initialized only when we are having name in our case. I'll say Python guide. Answer rate 1200. Let's see. So next is asking display. Okay, again I have done the same. So we need to check the spelling very thoroughly until unless otherwise it will be challenging for you to get the output done. Now see, if I do like this, object dot b name, I'll say ML guide, and I call display. Let's see. So depending on the case, you are saying you are calling this function Python guide, but is not getting access of your direct update. So if I do like this, if I like to print, let's see. Oh, shit, we done this one spelling mistake. Just hold on. See, so we had changed the b name of this class. So my call has been changed, or my value has been changed of the class. So if I do like this, I want user should not change, should not do this sort of transaction, or should not be able to view the values outside the class body with the object instance name. For that I am doing small change here for restricting the b name variable outside the class access. For that purpose I am doing what? I am doing 2-time underscore. If you put 2-time underscore, make the variable private to class. So as a process there would not be a major change till here. So book object has b. Okay, let me change here it also. There would not be any change till here because we can easily access this variable inside the class, but when we say we are accessing this object outside the class, which we did same like earlier, object not display. So we are not able to get the access done as it is private in nature. So we will not be able to do any correction inside this function is variable. Whenever you have access, try to make a fresh variable for this class, which we are not looking for. Okay, if I do like this, say print object dot b name. See there, book object has no attribute of b name, whereas we are having this variable here. So we cannot access this variable after the class body, as we have declared this variable as in private. So depending on the case, you can take a call whether you want to allow your function or variable accessible outside the class. If yes, then we can take a call. Okay, so that's an error where b name variable is not accessible outside class. Then we can take a further case. So let's take some few more cases here. So we are having option of decorators. For decorators, you can say it's a special name functions. It's a, you can say, special function which can take function as a parameter. Means it means this decorator having the features of calling other function inside this body, or you can, as a parameter, you can call a function as a parameter and process the function, and you can re-engineer a function without changing your function body. Let's take an example. So we are having one case display. You can name anything, ABC XYZ. Class other concept. So I'll say print. I'll say let me take a message from user. I'll print nothing. Plain function with no complexity. So I'm creating one more function. So display any decoder. Any name decoder. Any variable name I'll here I'm making one more function inside this function. Display say the wrapper. You can say new st. You name it ABC. So say let's see the difference. I'll explain this. Take so the function which user passed me as an fn. I'll pass the value of st to fn. Then at last I'm returning display new. See the difference? So I created a function which will accepting a function, no issue. Then we are saying the function which you had accepted as an argument should be revisit with the additional print statement new output to be there before calling this function output. It means this output would be there along with this output. Let's see the which we are doing it currently. So we are saying case say display data. Then here I'm calling display. See, so we are calling method inside the display decoder. Then I say this function I'm passing one message hi. So whenever you call this function with the display then you can say create a reference of this uh, function with any name. Okay, I had given the decorator name. Then whenever whatever value pass, you are indirectly calling this function. So indirectly, indirectly we are saying we are calling it. That's it. Then def display st print st. Indirectly you are calling your decorator. So rather than making a complete ecosystem, if you specify at the rate with the name and again this function definition, this function will be passed to this decorator as function call. Then we can take a call with the coding part. So rather than 48 cell, we can use this. And whenever you call, we are redefining your display. Whenever you call this internally, here anything on display part, as we are using decorators, it body decorator. In case you can take you want to go. So next we are having this class methods. That sort of thing. So let me put the comment. So I write down the description first. Allow us to call the using class name. Call the function using class name. As well as class object. So both. So let's take an example. So I'll say I'll make class say book. I'll refer decorator as a class method. It's a keyword. Def. I'll say let's say message any name. We have to mention CLS here in place of self. Book title. That's any method I'll given. So book MSG. Good to go. Book obj dot MSG. In both the cases, we can call this function. So class method is option at the rate class method is a decorator which help you to make your method accessible with or without class instance. Say if you are looking for something like you are accessing your function with similar one more case we are having with static methods. The features of static method is initialize memory well in advance. So static method is also there. So let me use that particular method also. The feature is generally most of the same. So other than class method, I say static method. Here we need not require to write CLS. That's a major difference. Rest the calling would be same. So I can call book.message and book object. Then obj dot msc. But in the class case, you have to write CLS inside the class function, which you want to make it accessible with or without class instance. That's a normal case available. So that's a normal case. So let's take one more case here, module. In module, we are having a feature. Let me write down. So suppose we are having one module, say with the name of, let me see, it's a module 1. And we are having some function defined, some variables. We can utilize this module in some other class or some other, you can say, program. Let's say creating one more script where I want to access this module. The fundamental of this accessibility is that these two files should be in a same folder or even same path, so that they can access their values. That we have to make sure. So once you suppose you are having some other file, let me see, let's check test.py, and this is my model1.py. So here I can write import module 1 to access the features of this particular module. Thereafter I can access the features with module dot, let's say, function name. Function name, whatever you function you are calling it, then even the module variable is also accessible, depending on the case. So we'll see the variation of how many types of options there which we can get the things done. So let me take a small file, Jupyter file. I'll create a small case like def, like we take say name, or let's say b name, Python guide book. I'm creating two functions, print. I'm doing Python programming. I'm creating one more method, display so Python title. Let me see what user had given to me. I'll print it there. So I said display it is 1, this is display 2. I'll say here I'm saying rate print book is the user. So what I'm doing is it as a I can have a alias name, say M. So even with MD I can do all the things. So it's nothing but in alias of model and MD. That's it. So based on your case you can take a call whether it is good to go, even though you do have option of accessing a specific methods or functionality only. So I'll say from module 21 import this spelling wrong this PALY. That's it. So if I call this same wrong spelling with the title, I say Python guide. Here you use of other functions because